I can't say most of my jokes on recording. I might get in trouble. So anyway, maybe y'all can tell some jokes on the way. So I'm Jennifer Baggerly. I'm associate professor in psychological and social foundations in the College of Education. Anybody here from the College of Education? Oh, yeah, I might even know you. All right. So that's a good place to be from. And I'm a licensed mental health counselor and a registered play therapist. So I work with children, and I specialize in children with trauma. And I've had the privilege of working with children after lots of different disasters. And so I'll be sharing some of that with you. These kids right here that I'm with were from a shelter after Hurricane Katrina up in Louisiana. I went to a small town just kind of north of New Orleans called Opelousas. Anybody know where Opelousas is? Ooh, all right. Okay, all right. So it was an interesting place to be, and so I'll share some things with you from that. But our class objectives today, did everybody get that little handout I gave you? Right? Okay. So we're going to look at the prevalence of natural disasters and explain the impact of on children's neurophysiology, discuss how trauma impacts children in 5 different ways, and then look at the range of responses children have, and then identify some interventions during different phases of disasters. So let me just get a sense from you. Let's see, how many worldwide disasters do you think we had in 2007? Somebody give me a guess. How many disasters do you think we had in 2007? 7? Okay. Okay. So throughout the world, you think you're voting 7. So another vote? 59. Get another one. Another one. Higher one. No? No higher ones? All right. Let's check it out. 414 natural disasters worldwide in 2007. So we got to look at our definition, right, of disaster. And here is a definition of our disaster. It's destruction of property, injury, or death. And it has an identifiable beginning and end. Okay, so like, for example, what would have an identifiable beginning and end? Tsunami. Okay, so we know the date that started and the date it ended. It's sudden, time limited, adversely affects large groups of people, and then it's shared by more than one family. So it's not just like, for example, a house fire. A house fire is shared by just usually one family. And it's not ordinary. So like our rain out here right now, it's ordinary. Some people might say, well, in Florida, hurricanes are ordinary, but they still classify as a disaster. And there is traumatic stress caused in almost anyone. Okay, so now let me just get a check here. How many of you have lived in an area where you experienced a hurricane went over you at some point in time? Raise your hand. All right. Now, what about this? Do you think that that hurricane caused traumatic stress in you? Raise your hand if it caused traumatic stress in you, that hurricane you experienced. Maybe one. Let's do this. How many experienced a hurricane and it didn't cause you really that much traumatic stress? All right, now, so we have to figure out why would that be? Why would that be that you didn't have traumatic stress, but then lots of people like, after Hurricane Katrina did, or even in the Puerto Rico, or maybe Hurricane Andrew, why did they have traumatic stress and you didn't? Yes, yes. Okay. Yes, yes.
Well, I know for me, this was when I was a kid there, Hurricane came through. It was pretty exciting.
It was exciting. She was a kid, and it was exciting. Okay. All right, so here is one of our indicators we got to keep in mind. A person's perception or appraisal of an event often predicts the severity of traumatic stress that they have. So if you appraise it as it's an exciting event, maybe you got to like put the tent up or something like that, then, you know, it could be pretty exciting, all right? So why else? The rest of you, there were several folks over here. You've been through a hurricane, but it wasn't traumatic for you. Why not? Okay. All right, so she says it was not traumatic because she didn't have any damages to her home. Life went on as it was before. There was no disruption. So that's another indicator, too. Whether or not you'll have traumatic stress is the routine that you have afterwards. If your routine is fairly similar, you don't have much disruption, you tend to be okay. So, but it's one of those things, it does depend on the person. And even if you didn't have destruction to your home, what about people who felt like, yeah, it was pretty traumatic to me? Why would it be traumatic to someone even if they didn't have destruction to their home? Just in the back. Okay, because it could be, there could be destruction. So we have, like, what you're saying is kind of that anticipatory anxiety. So we have that fear, that threat. Okay, yep. All right, and what else? Yes? Okay, so they were maybe worried for somebody else, and so that fear that somebody else is going to get hurt. So all of these things impact how children will respond. So here's our definition of our disaster, and these are natural disasters. So natural disasters are non-man-made or woman-made. So look at this. 211 million people were affected worldwide by disasters in just 2007. You might notice in your little handout thing there you have little holes, blanks in your paper. That's because in the College of Ed, just probably like here, most of our classes are at night, and a lot of our folks are teachers. They teach all day, and then they come to class, and they tend to fall asleep. So this is a way to keep you awake and key in on important points here. So we had over 16,000 people killed, 74.9 billion in damages. That's like a lot of money. And look at this. Natural disasters are increasing. They're from 1999 to 2005. There was 56% increase in natural disasters. Oops. Why do you think that may be? Yeah. Okay, so a lot of it is the deforestation, and she's saying people centered around urban areas and they get affected at once. Okay, what else? Oh, there you go. You saw that movie too? I saw that movie. Yeah, global warming. That is at least in this research here, it says that that's one of the reasons. Now, some people don't believe in global warming, but that's one of the reasons they say there's more natural disasters. Well, so we'll just see. You know, it could just be a little blip, and things will calm down later, but we'll see. So, prevalence of natural disasters. Hurricane Katrina. How many people died in Hurricane Katrina? 1,833 fatalities. And check this out. This source right here said $110 billion of damage to the United States. That's like a lot of money. Now, is that more or less than worldwide from 2007? It's more. Yeah. Why would that be? I guess we have expensive buildings in the United States. So It's